Rivers Restoration Movement has criticized Mujahid Asari-Dokubo over his recent attack on President Bola Tinubu. The group condemned the recent statement by Asari-Dokubo in which he accused the president of supporting the minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Wike, to destabilize Rivers State. This was stated in a press release issued in Port Harcourt on Monday by the group's Director General, Honorable Johnson Georgeville, and sent to press. Georgeville further lambasted Asari-Dokubo following his appearance on national television, where he claimed that President Tinubu was backing Wike to procure court judgments, while noting that Asari-Dokubo had also accused Wike and Tinubu of plotting to remove Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara and allegedly threatened that something would happen if that plan succeeded. Georgeville described the statement as an empty threat and a malicious comment. The statement further reassured Nigerians that Asari-Dokubo's threats were baseless and had no place in Nigeria's democracy. Our group wishes to assure Nigerians that all threats made by Alhaji Asari claiming that something will happen if the law takes its course in Rivers State are empty and have no place in our constitutional democracy. We call on Chief Asari to channel his energy into advising his benefactor, whom he did not support in 2023, to obey the rule of law rather than acting on sentiments, because Rivers State can never be a lawless society. RRM also wishes to state that Asari's claim of spending over $2 million when he couldn't even win his unit for President Tinubu is laughable, as it is a barefaced lie. Finally, the Rivers Restoration Movement wishes to make it clear that the victory of President Bola Tinubu and Governor Siminalayi Fubara in 2023 general elections in Rivers State was solely due to the efforts of the leader of Rivers State politics and the FCT minister alongside his political family with the help of Almighty God. Georgeville finally concluded by saying, thus opportunities and those without political value should be ignored. RRM which firmly believes that Rivers State operates under a constitutional democracy and the law, those law, will prevail at the appropriate time. Let me start with you, Chizzy. What do you make of this story?
Well, for me, basically, I think that Asari is a product of personality coordination.
Personality what?
Coordination. I think it's been overrated. Asari is purely overrated. He is transactional in nature. Asari is about Naira and Kobo, whether you like it or not. Of course, who would want people to be removed from office unjustly? If it is not fair, all of us will fight it. But of course, if it's through the Constitution, nobody will threaten us here to say that if somebody is removed or otherwise, nobody will want the governor to be removed. But if the governor has done things that must be impeached, that's why that section is in the Constitution in the first instance. And so he has to be removed. We know of Asari's history. Of course, we were there when Jonathan was removed out of office through election. And we had a lot of threat. What happened? We were here when the man who they should even have gone straight for, Alamesia of Bayelsa, was impeached. That impeachment was even questionable. What happened? What did Asari do? We were here when Jonathan came on board. Asari and his likes were the first who had to jump to Buhari to support Buhari. And then, of course, Tinubu, just recently, he was here, shouting for Tinubu during the court issues. He wasn't even allowing the judiciary to do what they were doing, shouting for Tinubu. Tinubu is good, this one is that, and the other one is that. But to make that worthy allegation such as that the president himself is the one who is supporting Wike, in trying to remove Sin Fubara, the governor of Rivers State. The first question is it what Wike is doing? And if it's what he's doing, how did Asari know that it's the president that is supporting him to influence judiciary? I think for me, if I am the federal government, because the onus of defense is on the accuser, he has to go to defend that. I will take him to court to come and know how he has influenced the judiciary to do whatever he feels that judiciary is doing. Like the group did say, I in my Facebook the last 2 weeks, I published Asari-Dokubo's unit results for over 3 elections. And there was no one that those people he claimed to have been supporting that had won in his unit. That means that it's politically irrelevant.
It's politically relevant.
Very relevant. Asari is politically relevant. I mean, if you cannot win your unit, as a politician, as I am now, I'm supporting you and I can't win my unit, what am I shouting? If you can spend over 3 billion naira, if you convert with today's rate, over 3 billion naira, if you convert 2 million naira, if you can spend 2 million naira to ensure that Tinubu was made president, how couldn't he have won? Why didn't Tinubu win or the APC win in his unit? That's the first question you need to ask. That means it's irrelevant. Because we are all, politics is local. Whether you like it or yes, politics is first local. If anybody wants to claim to be a big politician, you start in your unit and in your ward. That's where politics is. Because all of us here, both Tinubu, everybody will reduce to their unit on the day of election. So if you're influencing, if you want me, you're helping me to win, and then in my own unit, in your unit, I failed. How are you helping me to win for the first instance? So, Asari, for instance, I don't want to say anything. There are people who were ex-militants, who are speaking, who are not doing all that. Asari will say this today, tomorrow Asari is saying the other one, the next day Asari is saying the other one. He's transactional. Asari is about Naira and Kobo. Because I know. Why is Asari saying that maybe they have refusing contracts to secure pipelines, all of that? That's why he's saying what he's saying. Tomorrow if another government comes and give him, or this present government comes and give him back, he will begin to speak. I think the government should be held culpable of all of these people speaking anyhow, because it is the government that is funding that. If Asari said he has spent over $2 million, the question will be asked, how did he get $2 million? Where did Asari work? Where has Asari worked? Where is he working? What is the business of Asari that he has $2 million to spend on an election? How did he get the $2 million? People should be able to ask those questions and give credibility to something. For me, I would have wasted my time in even giving credibility to all of this. Asari said this, Asari said that. The question is, in Rivers State, the real thing should be done. The governor should do what is good. The people should do what. Should the governor do what is not good and constitutionally is removed? I'm not saying anybody should go and influence the judiciary. And constitutionally, anything happens, nothing will happen in Rivers State. And Asari knows that.
All right. Honorable Kumefune, let me come to you. What do you make of this story?
Honestly, the issues that relates to Asari for me, I don't bother myself with Asari's matters. Because first, when you talk about politics, Asari is not a politician. So when people discuss Asari in line with politics, I feel very bad because he is not a politician. And over time, like Jesus said, if you have monitored Asari's statements, public statements, you notice that Asari has been very unstable. He talks one thing one day, the next day he says the other. And so when Asari says a thing like this, for me, I don't bother myself at all. I don't bother myself. Politics is not sentiment. Politics is a game, just like people play hockey, football, and all that. And all these games has rules. And so if you don't maintain the rules of politics, you lose. Just like if you don't maintain the rules in football or any other game, you fail. And so in the rules of politics, you must maintain them very strictly. If the governor makes a mistake, and like Jesus said, is removed democratically, constitutionally, nobody will say anything. Asari is not a man who can hold by his words. Asari can say anything today, say anything tomorrow. I'm not interested in what he says. All I want is peace in the state and peace in the country. And so everybody must follow the tenets of democracy, the tenets of politics, because it has a rule. Talking about what is happening with our governor, for me, I am not a supporter of the governor.
Why not?
I won't support a man who is not stable. If you knew that you are not going to follow the rules, you shouldn't have even, in the first place, agreed to be where you are.
When you talk about the rules, what do you mean by
like I said
rules?
before, I said politics has rules.
All right.
Okay, so if one, for example, the former governor decides to support you to win the governorship, it means there must be agreement. It's business. And so if you have failed in that and agreeing to whatever tenets, whatever agreement you had from the beginning, and today you begin to shout and people are beginning to see it like sentiment, it's not a sentimental business. Politics is a game, and it's a game of rules. If you are not interested in that rules, you shift. There are too many Nigerians who are interested, and of course Rivers people who are interested in that position. If you are not interested to follow the rules, you leave. It's as simple as that.
Now, to a large extent, when you said that the former governor helped...
There are too many Rivers people who had wanted to be governor in 2023. Usim was not the only person who... In fact, he never indicated interest. But the man had looked at the issues side by side and look at the person who had agreed to whatever condition he gave to him, his business. Now, if I want to do a business with you, you must agree to my own tenets. And so if you are agreed, ab initio, and less than 3 months, you begin to fight the man who put you there for whatever reason, I don't think he's a man to be supported for any reason.
Now, the thing is, to a large extent, there have been questions around the foundation. What the questions have been around, what exactly is the problem? You know, what exactly is at the root of the crisis?
The governor stands a better position to say what
he has not come out to say clearly. What he has said much later was that at the heart of the crisis in Rivers State is a struggle to control the resources of Rivers State. Now, you on the other hand, you're saying that the governor has refused to abide by the rules. The question would be, what are the rules? Do these rules boil down to the control of the resources of Rivers State?
The governor hasn't told us, actually.
He has said that it's about the control of
the resources is the reason for which he became governor. Rivers has resources. And these resources is not for one person. It's the resources of every person who is a Rivers person. And now, if you were privileged to be the governor of the state, and you're talking about resources and resources, why did you first indicate interest to be governor? Is it not because of the resources?
But you say he didn't indicate interest. He was actually adopted by the former governor.
Okay, he is a human being. He has rights to say, I don't want, or I want. So if you are agreed to be governor, you must stand by the rules, like I said before. There is rule in everywhere. In this organization, there is a rule. If you must work here, you must abide by the conditions of service that will be set out by the leader of this place or the owner of this place. Now, Rivers State has conditions too for you to be governor. Like today, we have three senatorial districts in Rivers State. I'm coming, not by anybody. There's a constitution. Now, in that constitution, there are some unwritten conditions that you may not understand because you're not a politician. As politicians, we understand that before a position could be given to you, there may be written or unwritten agreements. And so if you decide to agree to those agreements, then that job will be given to you. And now for Wike, who is a politician to the core, which you know, for him to have abdicated those other persons who had wanted to be governor at the time he became governor and said, okay, I'm rooting for Sim, means that he probably must have seen Sim to be somebody who will continue from where he stopped, who will do something that would better the lives of Rivers people to his own understanding. Because bettering the lives of Rivers people for you may not be what I think should better the lives of Rivers people. And so because he is the one who is trying to help him to go into that position, he will set out some rules. Or will you do this? Will you do that and all that? And if Sin had agreed to such rules, he should stand by them. So today, turning back to say is because of resources. Which resources? Is it not because of the resources you became governor?
Akumefile. Now, this analogy you have given has even raised more questions in my mind.
Yes.
And the question would be, because now you said in the first instance that there were other people who wanted to be governor.
Yes.
But the current governor, on the other hand, did not, indicate interest to be governor. But he was the anointed of the FCT minister when he was governor. Now, which boils down, which brings me or begs the question.
Yes.
Was the governor imposed on Rivers people?
He was not imposed per se. It is a political position. He indicated interest. Even though the former governor had tipped him to be one who succeeds him, if he had not agreed to succeeding Wike, he wouldn't have been given that opposition, or rather that opportunity. So he had agreed to succeed Wike before he could have been allowed to go for primaries or whatever process that brought him as a candidate of the party.
Yeah, right.
Okay, so if he had said no, nobody would have forced it on him to contesting the primaries or rather becoming the governor of Rivers State. Like I said, there were other persons, even in other political parties, who ordinarily would have been voted. But because of the works that were done by the former governor, of course, everybody knows that he tried his best in this state. He may not be the best, but he tried his best.
Are you talking of infrastructural
both projects? Infrastructure and all that. He did his best.
All right.
No one man would perform 100%. But we know he tried his best.
Okay. Very well. Chizi, you wanted to say something.
Yes, I wanted to make some clarification here. Number one is, of course, when Kingsley, my friend, was speaking, if you're a deep politician, you understand what he's saying. Then if you're not a politician, you may misunderstand it, to mean what these other persons are insinuating. First, let me say this. There were people who wanted to run for the governor of the state. And those persons, in the wisdom of the former governor, which is Wike, I'm not speaking for him, in the wisdom of the former governor, I am deducing from what has happened also in the APC, where I am, that in the wisdom of the former governor, he said, look, for instance, Chief Felix Obua, Bro Felix Obua, and other persons who are dedicated interest, they have already formed structures.
Yes.
They are personal structures, which can balkanize the entire structure. And that's not going to be the interest of the politics, because of course, it doesn't matter how big you are. If you are not united, you can't win an election. And so, to win this election, and not only to win the election, to retain the structure as it is, they brought a man who is seen not to have those structures, so that these structures have to be retained. And in bringing this man, an agreement has to issue. What is the agreement? When people talk about agreement, politics is about.
Yeah, I'm interested to know what this agreement is.
Yes, this agreement is. Look, for instance, this person is no longer going to run, or is not going to support the other person who is running because of you. And so, the least you can do to them is that in their own local government, they are also going to bring their own assembly or local government chairman. Those are structures. So, in this place, and so you are, from each local government to the local government of the River State, is introducing these persons. Because like I told you, once in this place, that as a person, I didn't know Sim Fubra before he even became the governor. So, meaning that he was unknown. And for people to market him or to do this, you have to also allow these persons to, the same way you were brought in to become governor, allow these persons, this structure here, to produce their own chairman and all of that, and organize elections. And those are the things. As soon as Sim came in as governor, the first thing Sim started doing was to form another structure to counter these things and ask those who worked for him and who did all of that not to also produce their own. See, while you were becoming governor, people don't know the difference between the emergence of Sim and the emergence of Wike is that Wike came with his structure and emerged as governor.
Okay.
Sim is coming on the structure of somebody. And when you're coming on the structure of this person, all of them do have equal right to so contest that governorship, including the assembly members who were there, including some of the local government chairmen. And in fact, some of the local government chairmen, I can talk about Kana local government chairman, some of the local government chairmen had more chances of being the governor than Sim. And I can also tell you before the public here, that when somebody like George Kelly was tipped to be the governor, people were looking at George Kelly. Sim was running around George Kelly for commissioner for information, for finance. And so, what that meant was that, look, in this state, everybody has to step down. For everybody to have to step down. In politics, what profit is to businessman is what interest is to the politician. Sure. Now, when you want to tell a politician to support this person, you have to tell the politician that this is your interest, or this your interest will be accommodated here, because in your own local government, your own structure will produce this position. And anything outside that, of course, nobody will accept that.
All right. Now, if I understand now, we are actually delving deep into the root cause of this crisis.
Sure.
We are actually now entering into the heart of the issue that everybody have been trying to address. So let's delve deeper, shall we?
Yes, sir.
Now, if I understand what you have said, you said that while Wike emerged as a governor with his own structure,
yeah,
Sim had to emerge on the structure of the FCT minister when he was governor.
Yes.
Now, there was an agreement, according to what both of you are stating, before he emerged as the governor. There was an agreement because there were other people who were eligible and wanted to be governor and who were known as well. While in comparison, Sim was seemingly unknown in the political ecosystem of River State. So there was an agreement that, okay, now these people are going to step aside for you and you will emerge. And when you emerge, probably there will be certain settlements to ensure that these people do not lose out completely.
The settlement is
allowed. I want to know if that's what you mean.
Yeah, I want to know name the settlement. It's not overblown.
That's why I'm coming to what were the settlements.
The settlement is this. We have 23 local governments in River State. These persons who were contesting and other persons who didn't even contest. See, when you say somebody is contesting, for us as a politician, if Kingsley, for instance, is running for Senate,
in my senatorial district, and I'm supporting Kingsley, I'm also contesting. That's what people don't understand. So anything that affects Kingsley affects me, because Kingsley will have to give me my local government. So in discussing with Kingsley, you must accommodate the fact that in my own local government, whereas Kingsley can no longer go for Senate, and you are bringing this person as Senate, Chief, you must support this person, because in your own local government or ward, you are going to bring the councillor. Now, anything the man who took it from Kingsley does otherwise is breaching another agreement. I will not agree. So it's that incumbent. What people don't understand is, at that point, this question is, okay, you are bringing the governor. That's which means Wike. You are not bringing the governor. If you are bringing the governor, we are going to bring the local government chairman. This one is going to bring the local government chairman. So Wike has brought this. So Wike could actually as well relax. That's why when they talk about Wike, I don't understand. The way this crisis is, even if Wike comes openly now as I talk with you, to tell them, okay, please, everybody stop. The assemblies and the structures of the local government will say no, sir. Because you produce yours.
But now, if I may understand again, from what you are saying, what you're saying is that now, Fubara, when he emerged as governor, he went against these agreements.
Yeah, sure.
And through these men that worked for him under the boss.
Yes.
So now, what's going on, if I understand by your analogy, is that the people that actually marketed SIM to Rivers State, there was an agreement, a gentleman's agreement in this instance. And SIM having emerged as the governor, threw all of them under the bus and decided to build his own structure. So now, structure is at the heart of the crisis of this problem. Now, who are the people currently supporting the governor? Because from what you are saying, these were the people that were on his camp, have been thrown during his campaign, have been thrown under the bus. Who are the people?
Let me come in here.
Let me hear from you.
Yes, if you look at, like you said, Rivers State has 23 local government areas, 3 senatorial districts. We have about 13 federal constituencies. We have 32 houses of state constituencies. Now, if you look at this whole thing holistically, remove the former governor, Nyesom Wike. Where are the 3 senators in the state? Where are they? They are with Nyesom Wike. The House of Rep members, apart from the APC guy, and just 1 or 2 persons who had
at least 10 is solidly behind him.
10 persons out of that number are with Nyesom Wike. The local government chairman out of 23.
21 is here.
21.
The outcome local government chairman.
Yeah, not outcome.
You can call them outcome. That matter is sub judice. Okay, so let's leave that matter. 21 are with him. Now, outside this, there are other major stakeholders, like he called those who indicated interest in contesting for governorship. Those who also indicated interest in contesting for every other positions who perhaps for one reason or the other were not allowed or didn't contest because of this negotiation, this agreement. They are all with Nyesom Wike. Now, if you look at this mathematics, you now see that 90% or over 90% of the major stakeholders of this state, especially in that party, are with Nyesom Wike. If they are with Nyesom Wike, are you saying that he forced them, he coerced them, or he did what? These are matured, responsible men who on their own knows what politics is all about. And like he said, they all were on a round table. It is not a gentleman agreement. You call it gentleman. Politics is never a gentlemanly business. Politics is purely politics. Like I started here, I said politics is not sentiment.
Any agreement that is not written,
it must not be gentleman.
Signed, it's called in quotes.
It can in quotes.
Yes.
But politics is not a gentleman business. Politics is a business.
Right.
And in every business, what you look out for is what? Profit. Like he said, in the business of politics, the profit is interest. If your interest is accommodated, you would not fight, you would not disagree. And so, for the fact that this majority of the stakeholders have been kicked aside, who has interest ab initio, and because of those interests, an agreement they had, decided to pull out to allow him to become governor. They have all now been booted out because of one man's interest. That is wrong in politics.
Now, if I may ask, what is wrong in seeking your own structure?
In seeking your own structure, when you roll on another structure, is wrong. At least you should give it some time SIM became...
should give it some time to accommodate the
you have to accommodate the interest of all these stakeholders.
Imagine.
Yes, you don't push them out. Right. Okay, you just became governor. You don't want someone to produce chairman in his own local government. You don't want someone to produce councillor in his own ward. You don't want other people to have...
If you look at it from the angle of the governor, if every other person producing people are on the side of the FCT minister, so if he goes by that agreement, he will not have a structure.
Which structure is he looking for?
Excuse me.
Who said he will not have a
It will
structure?
still be the structure.
He is the executive governor of the state. What structure? All these structures.
Hold on, gentlemen.
Yes.
You're not understanding what I'm saying. Now, I am trying to think like the governor or a typical politician who wants his own structure would think like. Now, yes, there were agreements and all of that. But these people are also on the structure of the FCT minister. Yes? So now, if he goes by that original agreement that you people said allegedly happened, it means that these stakeholders will bring their own interest into bear. And their interest is still at large, by and large, the interest of the FCT minister. At the end of the day, is the FCT minister still further solidifying his own structure?
Let me also let you know.
Him. So the question is, what is wrong in Governor
Sim
building his own structure?
Now, first and foremost, remember that we talked about stakeholders in various classes that they belong, either from the world, the local government, the senatorial zone or whatever. These men constitute the structure. They all constitute. No one man has a structure in politics.
Okay.
No one man has a structure in politics. Because if you do not put my interest into consideration, you might lose my own word, where I come from. Like Cheese was talking about Asari winning his word or not. I was in the SDP. I supported Senator Magnus Abe in the SDP. I'm saying it before the whole world. And PDP mobilized so much resources. Yet I won my unit. I won my word on the SDP. That makes me a politician, isn't it? Now, if you're a politician and you cannot win your own unit and your word, are you a politician? Now, if you see somebody like me and you want to write me off, I'm not important in my word, I would dismiss on that word. That's my story. And so if Nelson Wike had not considered those other persons from their unit to the ward, the local government, he wouldn't have won those wards and local government areas. Because I cannot come from my ward to win in my ward. You must have somebody who is holding that word for you. And those persons are very, very important. And so when you now emerge as governor and you think that these persons are no longer important, you want to now be a tree that will stand in the whole bush. It's not possible. You know this common that say tree does not make a forest? No one tree can make a forest.
In politics.
If we are in politics,
there was a question you asked that maybe we didn't get it. The question you asked is two questions. Number one is, who are those now with SIM?
Yes, I was still getting
now,
to that.
Imagine everybody, just like Absalom in the Bible, you know, about Solomon's son, King David's son, who went to gather all Solomon's enemies, those who fought against the father. That's what SIM. And everybody who fought, 90% of those who left Wike in that structure, left Wike because of SIM. Because they felt that, oh, we cannot serve father and son. All of them, I can mention the names they want. They left Wike and fought Wike because of SIM. And so when SIM now, they came to say, oh no, you're right, governor, put up your structure. The question is, structure is, I'm from a family. And then I emerged, you know, as the first son, I'm the first son of the family. And I said, no, I want to build my own family, no longer the family that I'm from. Or you are from a party, so you should have as well gone to another party, you know, remove from the, go out from the party and form his own party because you want to form his structure. There's nothing wrong in forming your own structure if you want. First is time. Secondly is that if you have the capacity to form the structure, then allow the process go. Nobody is fighting him. If you wanted to form the structure, then allow the local government election to be held. Of course, you will not go to party and now win primaries. Your structure will come and win primaries in the party. Wherever the structure goes, then they contest with these other persons at the due time. So you cannot just say, okay, you're forming structure. You just stand up one day and say you want to start form structure. Like he said, when we say structure, it's not Wike's structure. He was the SDP. I was fighting Wike. When we talk about structure, it's not fun. The strength of Wike, let me say that, do you know one strength that Wike has? The strength Wike has is, Wike has this spirit of reconciliation.
Yes. That's
the strength. Wike understand that in this thing they are doing now, it's most difficult to win Ogoni wholeheartedly without Arabi. They will wait for Abi. Do you understand that? We can understand that me, I hold my unit, and then he came for us. So he knows that the addiction of all of those agreements, the aggregate of those agreements is what we call structure. Kingsley has accepted to work with you. That means that if you come to Kingsley's place,
you must win.
You win. Then that's Kingsley. Now, in trying for Kingsley to win, you just say Kingsley win and then stay. No, Kingsley also has people who is supporting him because they want to be councillor or want to be supervisor. So Kingsley will tell you that, oh, if you are asking me to collapse this my little structure into your structure, these councillors and supervisors must be provided by my structure, so that I would also be relevant. Because you see, if you also bring me, for instance, I lead, I see you. If you bring me to the place, and then you say, okay, Chizi, you are working with this structure, and my people come and tell me, okay, they are contesting for councillor, they are contesting for this, we want to contest for councillor. There's nothing for us. I say, yes, there are nothing for us. They will go to those who can produce, and then leave me. You make me relevant. That's what it is. Wike today is with the federal government because he provided platform that the president won here. And so if you begin to do those kind of things and he does not provide platform that they will win, you make him irrelevant. Now you are talking about structure. The man who can grew under structure, from him being cashier to accountant to director of finance to permanent secretary, government house to accountant general, that structure produced him. That structure still producing. So that structure was actually providing that platform for him to be. And you know what these people are doing? They are even saying, come, let us give you for you to lead us. Because automatically, assuming that Wike is even the first, automatically he is the second in command.
Of course.
So as Wike goes higher, he is off. When Wike was governor, he wasn't governor. When Wike left as governor, he became governor. Who knows what will happen tomorrow? Is it not foolishness that, I'm sorry to use that word, it's not out of lack of wisdom for anybody to begin to look at those things and then bring those who fought you, who fought the Oga because of you, to now begin to be the one to advise you. Can I shock you? What those people, the advice those people are providing, they don't love sin. They want sin to go out.
All right, Chizi.